with immigration attorney Esther Valdez-Clayton. Esther, thanks so much for being with us here. You're an immigration attorney. I'm familiar with the Fourth Amendment of the United States, and we, everyone watching, hold it near and dear as we do the entire United States Constitution. But it seems the plaintiff's argument tries to make a Fourth Amendment case without distinguishing the difference between U.S. citizens and illegal immigrants. And the Supreme Court of the United States does see a difference when applying the Constitution.
That's exactly right, Will. The immigration advocates, including the mayor of LA, Karen Bass, they purposefully don't want to differentiate between legal immigrants who are law-abiding and supporting of the Constitution and illegal immigrants because they want to perpetuate the economic reality that is in Los Angeles, that they depend on economic peonage and servitude of Latino labor. And the ridiculousness of that complaint that you just read, one can't help but not laugh because there's no such thing as Latin A. What they're trying to do is they are trying to perpetuate fear throughout the Latino and Latina communities, and they themselves are doing the fear mongering because they're trying to raise allegations of racial profiling that in essence is not happening. It's not only unconstitutional, but the Department of Homeland Security, along with ICE, they are not racial profiling Latinos. I live in Southern California. ICE is hot, and I have yet not been kidnapped off the sidewalks here in Southern California.
Just as an aside that I cannot avoid, it's just too tempting, Esther. I took Spanish in school. I've grown up in Texas. I can speak very rudimentary Spanglish. I presume that you're somewhat familiar with the Spanish language. Have you ever heard of Latine? Is that new? It seems to be a brand new replacement for Latinx. Gender neutral. No Latino, no Latina. Latine?
Again, they're trying to colonialize and sabotage the Spanish language to suit their political correctness. That is ridiculous, along with the allegations of racial profiling, the kidnapping, and again, they're trying to create and amass fear along the Latino immigrants so that then we have more protests and more raids and more acts of violence because, in effect, that's their end game. They just want an insurrection to be able to challenge the Trump administration.
Colonizing the Spanish language, creating a black market of labor that you describe as peonage. But let's return to the Constitution and the law. The person in the United States not here legally or not a United States citizen is not avowed to the same constitutional protections. That doesn't mean they do not have any constitutional protections, but not the same level of constitutional protections as a citizen. So the standard for a law enforcement interaction drops to something like reasonable suspicion. And then all of this, Esther, goes into that reasonable suspicion. These are ICE policies for detaining an individual. They look at detention served to secure individuals for immigration proceedings. Some are subjected to mandatory detention, including certain criminal offenses and terrorism-related grounds. ICE exercises discretion on a case-by-case basis, flight risk, public safety risk, humanitarian factors. I would presume this in combination with, as admitted in the response, their appearance, where they're found, all play into does it amount to reasonable suspicion and therefore satisfying the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution.
We need to also understand that ICE agents are carrying warrants. And in the warrants, it's not only naming the suspect, but also the individual immigration allegations. And this person is going to have due process, just not at the same level as lawful permanent residents or even U.S. citizens. Also because the length of their continuous presence in the United States. For example, if a person's here less than 2 years, that's an expedited removal. No, they don't get a day in court. No, they don't get a court-appointed attorney. They go get a ticket back home to where they belong. And that's what the allegations, that's why they're so superfluous and they're superficial. They're just meant to deter and detain and stop the inevitable, which are the immigration raids in Los Angeles.
Right. All right. Incredible conversation. Thank you so much, Esther, for both your legal analysis and teaching us about the newest trends in Spanish language. All right. Also today,
click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.